Hello, and welcome to Kidding Around, a kid health podcast for everyone who touches the life of a child, with your host, Dr. Candice, a pediatrician whose passion is kids' health. Each episode, Dr. Candice chats with other experts in the field of pediatrics to talk about things you want to know about babies, children, and teens. You can listen to these podcasts whenever you like on her website at drcandicemd.com. That's drcandicemd.com. Click on the podcast tab to listen to it on iTunes and or SoundCloud. You can also follow Dr. Candice on social media, Facebook or Twitter at Dr. Candice MD. Once again, welcome to Kidding Around, and we hope you enjoy today's podcast.
Hi there, welcome to Kidding Around. I'm Dr. Candice, and thank you so much for listening. The holidays, Thanksgiving, and Christmas is right around the corner. And when I think of the holidays, I think soul food. Soul food is traditionally not very healthy for us, but it tastes so good. So my guest today is going to help us prepare it in a more healthy way, but keep it yummy, right?
That's right. It's real important.
So please welcome Miss Fabiola Gaines to Kidding Around. Thank you for coming to talk with us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So I want to tell you a little bit about Miss Gaines. She is a licensed and certified and registered dietitian and the Director of Nutrition Services with Hebni Nutrition Consultants. You are a co-founder, founding partner, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and you have an awesome team and other founding members that work with you.
Yes, Ronice Weaver and Elretha Carson, who has retired.
Okay.
We were the founders of Hebni Nutrition
Awesome.
Consultants.
And in this community in Orlando, they are well known. I've heard about them for years and wanted to have them on, and I was lucky several weeks ago to be on a health panel with Miss Weaver and some other members on the Fresh Stop bus that I've seen. I said, I gotta have you on the podcast. So it's an honor to have you to talk with me today. You guys work well in this community trying to stomp out these diet-related diseases that affect certain communities the worst. And that's what you're trying to address through health and nutrition. So we really appreciate that.
That's correct.
Awesome. So we're going to get started and start the questions out. And I just want to ask, as far as helping people with health and nutrition, particularly in the area of preparing healthy soul food, tell us about the soul food pyramid.
Well, the Soul Food Pyramid was started actually when I did a presentation at one of the health centers. And a gentleman raised his hand and asked, where does a chitlin fall on this pyramid? And at the time, there was no indication of the foods that affect minority population. So we got together and decided to do a soul food pyramid. Mm-hmm. So we bought the pig from the rooter to the tutor.
I like it.
To
That's how my dad says it.
To show that a lot of the foods that we were eating were actually fats instead of protein sources.
Okay.
And so that started the ball rolling, and we are really well known around the country for the soul food pyramid. But USDA decided to throw a little twist in the game and came out with My Plate. And so, of course, we had to do a soul food plate.
I like it.
And so we are still trying to indicate to our population that it's important that we look at portion control, and the foods that we traditionally eat are part of our tradition. We're not saying not to eat them. We're just saying not to eat them as often as we eat them, but to put a little twist on it to make them a lot healthier. We say we're giving soul food a facelift.
Right.
And that's all we basically are talking about.
Yeah. Because realistically, I face this being a pediatrician. We say cereal is a processed food, right? But kids love cereal. And I'm being really unrealistic if I just tell all of my patients and their families, never eat cereal, right? So I'm not helping them. So why not find some healthy cereals, give them some healthier ways to do it, the right portion, don't add the sugar, get a lower fat milk, and find ones on the food label that seem to have less sugar and just more fiber and all of those things. So teach how to do it. So I love what you're doing, because some people are not going to stop eating their soul food, right?
Course not.
So we might as well help them get it a little bit better.
A little bit better.
I love
And if we look at the portion sizes that we normally consume, and I tell my patients, just cut them in half, and you'll be on the right track. I didn't take your fried chicken away,
Right.
but your fried chicken has to fit in this little circle I'm giving you.
Right.
And we have a portion control plate, and the joke is, if you can get a 4-piece Popeyes chicken in this little piece of circle,
Right.
you can have it.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
take your chicken away. You can't go high. You have to stay within the borders of this section of the plate, but you still can have your fried chicken.
So portion control. So how often do you recommend the fried chicken?
I don't recommend.
You don't recommend it, but
Well, I don't. I do not recommend it because that's part of the culture of us.
yes.
What I do recommend is looking at how they cook it. Instead of using vegetable oil, I suggest that they use canola or corn oil.
Okay.
If you're going to submerge any type of protein in oil. And then we talk about oven fried chicken,
Okay.
because the best part of the chicken is the crispiness.
Right.
So you can get that same crispy taste with oven fried chicken.
Say that again?
You can still get that same crispy taste with oven fried chicken. The secret is
Oven. She said oven.
The secret is, yeah. And when we do it for our class, they're like, you fried this
Right,
in oil.
no
You
way.
fried this in oil. The secret is you prepare the chicken as if you're going to fry it. You put the flour on it and everything. Then you spray it with Pam or a non-stick agent over the top. Put it in a hot oven, 400
crisp up.
crisp up, just like fried chicken.
That is a pearl right there. That's a gem. That's a gem. So it's so much you could probably help us with, but I want to tell them how to get the books, because in this is going to help them, right?
Yes, because what we did was the new soul food cookbook for people with diabetes is a cookbook that anyone and everyone should cook from. What we're trying to do is get people back into the kitchen.
Amen. Preach.
Because a lot of us, especially my millennials, do not cook.
Right.
They make selections from menus.
Right.
And we're starting to see 30, 32-year-olds with high blood pressure
That's right.
and high cholesterol because they eat out all the time.
That's right.
Then you have those millennials with children, and they do the drive-bys all the time.
Fast food.
And you're wondering why is this kid getting so fat? Why is this kid, the doctor's saying, the cholesterol is
That's
elevated.
right. That's what happens, literally.
And I see a type 2 diabetic,
That's right.
8 years old.
We have some in our practice. Absolutely.
And we have got to stop this trend. And the way we stop it is to get in the kitchen.
That's right. That's right. Real whole food that's cooked at home. You know what goes in it. And you can find healthier options, right? Healthier ways to cook it.
That's right.
You just don't know what you're eating when you eat out.
You don't. And we're just trying to, and you don't have to be in the kitchen hours. You can do a meal in 30 minutes.
Right.
Because we do it all the time with our cooking, when we do cooking demos. I said to the class, if I can cook this in front of you,
Right.
and you can eat it, why can't you do this at home?
That's right. And another thing that my mom on my very first podcast made this hilarious joke when I suggested, because my first podcast was about childhood obesity, and that was a year and a half ago. And I gave a suggestion of, she was doing a true and false, right? Old school mama. That you could prepare and prep meals on the weekends, healthy meals, fruits, vegetables, lean meats, things of that nature. And some of that stuff can be stored or frozen, and then you pop it back out and warm it and all this. And she said, have fun with that. Like, that's not happening, type of thing. So, and now year and a half later, she's like, you know what? I've been pulling out okay. So that's another thing that families could do. I do it all the time. I make 3 or 4 meals that can easily be frozen on some weekends, and because my son likes real hot food to go to school for lunch, and I'll warm it up, and that's what he eats. A little casserole with veggies, broccoli, chicken, different things like that. So, and I'm not a dietitian or a great cook or anything, but I just think we do have to get back to the kitchen.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
do.
So as far as the plate, most people are familiar with the plate, but tell us kind of about the food groups, the plate.
Well, the food groups are the typical food groups. We have our breads and cereals. We have our proteins, which are meat group, which have the beans and the eggs.
Or nuts.
And we have our vegetables and we have our fruit. And what we're trying to propose, especially when it comes to the fruit, is whole fruit as opposed to juice. But we have to clarify juice. Right. Because a lot of parents think that big gallon of fruit punch we get in the grocery store is juice.
It's juice.
I call it expensive Kool-Aid. That's
it's
all
fake
it
juice.
is.
Fake juice.
There's no juice. Might have 5% or less.
There's no real fruit in there.
No, at all. So we're telling our parents, especially ones with children, we want them to eat the orange instead of drink the orange juice.
I say, eat your orange, drink some water, orange juice. I say it all the time in the room. And I say, give me that. Look on the back. How much fruit is in this? Oh, it's raspberry. I'm like, baby, there's no raspberry in there. So they really don't know that. And so that's a great plug. I'm glad you mentioned that. So what would make a healthy plate?
Well, the healthy plate will be made of color. Because when you look at the typical plate is brown and white, meat and gravy.
That beige plate.
So we're trying to get the plates more colorful, more fruit, more vegetables on the plate. We want our protein source to be limited, not half the plate.
Right.
And we want our carbohydrates to be limited also.
That's right.
So we're trying to get our parents to give our kids more vegetables as opposed to the starchy foods and the protein foods. We have a class here every Monday night for our called Oasis, and they're able to bring their children because we have babysitting service and we feed everyone. And this one grandfather brought his grandson, and that night we had orange carrots. So they come through the line. And first of all, I'm a little old school like your mom. I don't ask a 4-year-old what they want to eat.
I give you healthy options, and that's it. Right.
This is what we're eating.
This is what we cook. This is what everybody eats.
So he's asking his grandson, who's 4, do you want carrots? And he said no. So I'm standing there, and I said, well, why don't you let's put 3 carrot circles on your plate, and all I'm asking you to do is eat one of them. Now, Grandpa, you got to put some on your plate too.
Be an example.
So he did, went down, and he comes back up to me, and he said he wants more carrots. He calls his wife, the grandmother, and said, this kid is eating carrots. But I said, what happened there is y'all let a 4-year-old determine what they're going to eat and what they're not going to eat.
That's right.
And if you'd have taken him at his word, he would have never experienced those carrots.
Never tried it. That's right.
We have got to stop that. If we're going to stop the bad eating traits that I see when patients come to me for counseling, and we as adults must take control of that.
That's right.
There are other ways to let children have their opinion, but when it comes to health and wellness,
they need your guidance.
The parent has to do that.
That's right. My saying is, try it, you might like it. When I don't like that, try it, you might like it. Try it, you might like it. Mom, we have this rule in pediatrics, because this all starts around that toddler period when you're introducing the foods. The first time the baby's in the high chair, 6 to 9 months, they make a face and spit it out. Oh, she didn't like that, so I don't ever have to give it again. But the rule is you have to introduce something 10 to 15 times or even more before those taste buds get acclimated and they accept it. Never give up. Keep giving it to them. And I say, try it, you might like it. You can't look at something and tell what it tastes like. You're going to
can.
try it today. I'm the same way. I totally agree with that. So we're going to move on, and at the end, we'll definitely give you the names to the books and show you the books so you can get these wonderful resources. But you just gave out a bunch of pearls, gems about eating healthy and some ways to make the soul food a little more healthy. So some of the other things that you guys are doing, we are sitting in the Nutrition Resource Center of Hebni Nutrition Consultants. Tell us about this center. You mentioned a little bit.
Well, we've been around about 20 years.
Awesome.
And we've rented from here to Piddle to Poles. And our last office, we decided that, okay, we're settling in right here. Then one of the commissioners came to us and said that Mrs. Perkins wanted to sell her building. I was born and raised in Orlando, so this was the Black Bookstore.
Awesome. Good spirit
when I was growing up. So she was ready to go home and be with her grandkids and just let it go. So we talked her into letting us rent this place for 6 months until we found a donor to buy the building. And we applied for a community block grant with the city of Orlando, and they gave us $250,000 to renovate it. But this was back in 2008 when the economy was tanking. So we went to our city commissioner, who was Daisy Lynham at that time, and asked if she would help us get more money to finish the building. So she gave us a resource, and that company came in and put another $180,000 in this building. So we are so blessed. We're the first nutrition resource center in the state of Florida. And what we wanted to do was just teach people how to cook.
That's right.
Because that is where grocery shopping, cooking, and eating is how it goes.
That's right.
And we've just been having so much fun in this building, and we have kids coming here, we have them in the kitchen, and in our classes we have them in the kitchen, and just to hear the laughter. You know, when you have parties, everybody gravitates where? To the kitchen.
That's right.
So we wanted this building to have that kind of feel, and we think we accomplished that.
That's amazing. And so are you having classes pretty much every night, or how is your system working?
Well, our ACES class is an 8-week wellness class, and guess how much it costs?
$0, I'm imagining, because you guys are
Free.
awesome. That's right.
I tell people all it costs is your time.
Yeah.
And we even feed you. So you have to worry about
Okay,
dinner.
you can
Bring your
have dinner.
kids, we'll feed them
Feed
too.
everybody.
So it's an 8-week wellness class, and we're ending it right now. And we'll start up in January. So we'll give you the number to call
Absolutely.
to reserve a seat. We go over diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, weight loss. We teach you how to read labels. We talk about vitamin, mineral supplements. So we cover a whole gamut. You get in the kitchen and cook.
Right.
And we also have another program that we do after school called Kids, Keeping Your Diet Straight.
Yes.
We marry tennis and nutrition. And we're currently at one of the elementary schools now for the next 3 more weeks. We've been there 5 weeks, and the kids are just phenomenal. They just love to do the hands-on. You know,
They
parents
love to prepare foods.
They
My
do.
son asks all the time. He loves being in the kitchen.
Parents don't realize the
Then they talk, and then you love on each other. It just opens up the door
It
for
does.
so many other things. A great relationship between a parent and child.
So we do that.
Absolutely.
We have that program, and of course we have the Fresh Stop bus, and so those programs keep us pretty busy.
Now you can't just skirt over the Fresh Stop bus like that. You have to tell us more about that.
Well, the bus came about. We were looking at. We do classes. We tell everyone to increase their fruit and vegetable consumption, but where they gonna buy it?
There you go.
There was no place in this general area to purchase fruits and vegetables. It
Food
was
desert. That's a food desert.
food
right?
desert. There was no full service grocery store. So we saw this model in Chicago, and Ronice went up and looked at it and visited and rode the bus, and we decided that we were going to try it here in Orlando.
Uh-huh.
Now, you have to understand, we're three poor black women trying to make a difference. That's our motto.
Yeah.
So we made arrangements to have the vice president of Lynx come. And we did what I call our dog and pony show.
Okay, I love it.
You know, we told them, gave them the statistics and showed them what we wanted to do. And all we needed was a bus.
We need a bus.
And we don't have no money to buy a bus. So we want you to give us a bus. So he looked at us like, these women are crazy. It was so
Asking
funny.
it shall be given,
I'll
right?
tell it. 2 weeks later, he gave us a bus.
See?
But guess what? We got all happy. Oh, we got us a bus, but we got to renovate this bus.
Uh-oh, bus need work.
So we need some money.
Now we need money.
Oh my God, we need a lot of money. So we went to the chick board with Florida Hospital, and they gave us money to help with the renovation and all of that. That was just phenomenal.
Awesome.
I mean, the Florida Hospital has been
Yes.
with us all the way. But, all right, we got the bus, we got it renovated, we get happy again, but we need staff.
Okay.
We don't have no money to pay no staff.
Yeah, employees, right?
So
yeah.
we went to the county, and the county assisted us with staffing and gas and all of that. So we've truly been a blessed
It's worked out.
organization.
How long has it been?
We're going into our 4th year. It'll be January, it'll be 4 years.
It's a sight to see. And that, I mean, when I saw it my first time seeing it, I was like, this is amazing. It's a beautiful bus. It's totally decked out, fresh stop, mobile market. And then you walk up, they were making healthy smoothies that day, and you can walk up and get fresh fruits and vegetables. Just pick what you want and go. And it can go into communities, like you said, that don't have that access.
And we're just so proud of it. And we see the difference that we're making, because as our revenue go up, we know more people are eating fruits and vegetables.
That's
so
right.
it really is very rewarding to us to make a difference in our community. And that's what it's all about. When I talk to young people, it's not all about money. Money will come later, but you're going to have to give up your service. And
Right.
And it really pans out in the end. And if anyone told us we'd have had this building and that
Right.
bus 20 years ago, I looked at them like, yeah, right.
Right.
But look what God can
Yeah,
do.
that's right. And this is a state-of-the-art test kitchen. This place is amazing. You guys are going to see, because we're going to move and do a little demonstration. Miss Gaines mentioned that they work with kids, teach them how to cook. And so she's just going to give a little demo of a healthy snack, because a lot of kids are drinking juice for snack, eating candy bars, going to the convenience store, eating a lot of chips. That's what their snacks are. We can give them healthy snacks. So she's going to give us an example. And you know, that brought me to a story I heard about you guys, how you convinced a local convenience store to do better by the community. Can you tell that briefly? And then we're going to move.
Well, we were looking, we applied for a grant with Blue Cross. At that time it was Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now it's
Florida Blue.
Florida Blue, thank you. And there was a convenience store that's actually near my church that my mom, when we were younger, would stop in there and get her produce. But the produce changed to beer and wine. So we went into that store and asked the owner if we could come in and take over his store. And here too again, the personalities of the individual is what makes the difference. He was so amenable to us because he had been in the community over 30 years.
Wow.
And he knows the importance of having healthy options. So he let us come in there. Long story short, we put the chips in the back. So if you want some potato chips,
All
you
that
got to
bad
walk
stuff to the back, right?
You got to walk to it. We revamped his shelving and took all because the reputation he had expired food on the shelves. So we went in with a team and pulled everything off that was expired. We actually found canned food on the shelf in 2007. So we're in 2012. So we threw it away. We didn't say, oh, this needs to be gotten rid of.
Right.
We threw it in the garbage and we did his shelving, and now 4 years later he still have produce.
I love it. he saw that was a need.
Because he didn't think anyone was going to buy it. Because he told us, he said, they're not going to buy it.
It's going to spoil. That's what parents say to me.
So we said, okay, we're going to buy the produce for the first 3 months. The produce come in there, 2 days later, it's gone.
Give him a chance, right?
And so he said, I can't believe this. So he kept it up.
That's
So
amazing, and
he's doing well.
that's how you guys work. Grassroots, just starting with the little simple things that make a difference, and growing into all of this over 20 years. I'm just coming in at year 4 or 5, learning about you. But you've been doing it, right? Absolutely. So we're gonna pause right here and move to our short demo, and then we'll be done. But this was great, and I'm gonna ask you at the end, how in the world you cook chitlins healthy?
That's going to be a test for me,
That's
right?
Okay. So we're back, and we're going to do a little demonstration. So is this a healthy snack that the kids learn to prepare?
Yes.
And what is it, KYDS?
Yes, keeping your diet straight.
Awesome.
This is one of their activities, and what we do, we're using a Greek yogurt. A lot of people think it has to be plain. Plain yogurt to me tastes crappy. And I don't want to set the children up to fail before they get started. So I use a vanilla Greek yogurt because it has some flavor and a little bit of sweetness that you need to have in Greek yogurt.
Okay.
And we're using blueberries and strawberries.
And you can do fresh or frozen. These look fresh, and that might have been frozen, right?
No, they're
That's fresh as well? Okay.
I try to introduce them to fresh fruit so they can actually taste what fresh fruit tastes like.
Right.
And what I do for the cereal, I try to find a cereal that's high in fiber and high in nutrients. And this one has 9 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber, and along with the fiber you're getting from the fresh fruit, we're probably getting about 20 grams of fiber in this particular snack. The requirement is 35 grams a day.
That's a good deal then.
We're getting
one thing.
about 20 in this, and it's low in sugar.
Right.
And it tastes pretty good, and it has less fat than regular granola. This is Go Lean cereal. And a lot of individuals think you have to use granola.
Really
but you
sweet.
But you can use regular cereal, your favorite cereal. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some yogurt at the bottom.
Okay.
Now sometimes you can even add flavoring to the yogurt. So this is about an 8-ounce glass.
Okay.
So we're going to put yogurt there. We're going to put some blueberries. And kids like things that are colorful.
Right.
So we're going to put some more yogurt on top. And then we're going to put some strawberries.
That looks really good. You gonna eat some?
Yeah, you can eat some.
Yeah, some.
And then we're going to put some more yogurt at the top.
So when they're preparing this, what are the reactions you're getting?
I don't like that kind of yogurt because it's white. So what I do, I said, well, like you said, I tell them to taste it.
Yeah.
And we put the granola cereal. This is actually regular cereal.
Now, is this one portion?
This is one portion.
Okay.
Because you want to at least get 8 ounces of yogurt. 8 ounces of yogurt equals to 1 cup of milk.
Right.
So if you have a child that's not really a milk drinker, this is one way to get calcium in them.
Okay.
Without drinking fluid milk.
That's right. Now for the yogurt, it says 0% fat. It's the light and fit. It has more protein because Greek has more protein. And so you thought about that when you chose what yogurt you were using, because some people may choose something else that's...
Well, this one, a lot of individuals do not like Greek yogurt too. Greek yogurt is getting to be an acquired taste.
Right.
So if you find a regular low-fat yogurt that you like, you can easily use this without being having to be Greek.
Sounds good.
But a regular yogurt works just as well, as long as it's low-fat.
Right. So when the ones that looked at it and didn't like it and they eat it, typically they like it?
They like it, then they're asking me, what's the name of the yogurt? I often get that. What is the name of that yogurt so I can tell my mom? So it's interesting the
They can
dynamics
fix
of what
it.
you see and you have the ones that don't eat blueberries.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you mix it all together, I said, when you grab it all together,
Right. It's just wonderful.
yeah.
Well, that's all for today. This was absolutely a very complete, very informative, a lot of information for adults, for families, for kids. So I think this is the spirit of Hebni, right?
Yeah, it is.
This is how you roll.
This is how we roll.
So I really appreciate you. Oh, let's show them the books and give the website or any number to call for classes.
Well, this is the book, The New Soul Food Cookbook for People with Diabetes. And our Facebook and website is Hebni, and I'll spell it for you, HEBNI, nutritionconsultants.org.
Okay.
And you can go, same thing with our Facebook page, same name. And from the Facebook page, you can go to our Fresh Stop Bus page and see all the activities. And also, you can also find the schedule of where we're going to be at what time.
And can people request you come to a certain?
They can.
Okay.
They can call the office. Let me give you the office number. It's 407-872-1333. And you can get any information by calling us at the office.
Awesome. And you have another book there?
Oh, Slim Down Sister. This is a weight loss book for African American women because we tend to lose weight different from our white counterparts. So we wanted to give African American woman an option of what she needs to do in order to help her lose weight. In the back of this book, we also have recipes, walking programs, and all kinds of exercise suggestions are in this book. It's called Slim Down Sister.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
You're
taking
welcome.
the time to let us to come in your space and educate today. And thanks guys for listening, and we'll talk soon.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast and learned something today that will help you keep your kids happy and healthy. Let Dr. Candice know by subscribing to her podcast on her website at drcandicemd.com. Feel free to leave her any comments and or questions. You never know who may be on the next show. If you have a direct question, you can also email her at info@drcandicemd.com. That's info@drcandicemd.com. Thanks for listening, and Dr. Candice will kid around with you soon.